So, welcome all. Today we will be discussing Azure Foundations. The title for this session is Kickstart Your Cloud Journey with me. Before we start this session, this session is delivered on behalf of the Azure Cloud Commanders Learning Room. As a Microsoft Teams tenant-based community that exists to help you learn and get certified on Azure completely free. There's other sessions and learns on different topics such as Microsoft infrastructure, data, AI. Make sure you check out the link and join in. I will be monitoring the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the chat during the today's session. So I will do my best to answer. This session is being recorded on behalf of the Azure Cloud Commander Learning Room. If you do not consent to be part of a recorded session, please disconnect your line as attendees. Your name is hidden or the recording. However, if you come off mute or have your camera on, your voice and video will be recorded along with anything you may mention. So try not to mention any company name. The recording will be published to YouTube for later viewing. For those that may need to drop earlier or could not make it today. So the link will be published in the learning room once available. A little bit about me. Thanks again for joining us today's session. So this is a inclusive session. So be welcoming and before we go ahead with my introduction, just a code of conduct for this community and this. So this is an exclusive session. So be welcoming and respectful, friendly, and welcome and considerate. There may be people attending who are coming in fresh and may not have heard of any of the content being delivered today. Everyone is welcome and all questions are welcome. Raise your hand if you want to ask question or ask it in the chat. Again, feel free to post it in the chat. I'm monitoring chat. If you have any issue viewing something on the screen, on the just let us know. So we will go ahead and help with that. So a little bit about me. My name is Hasib Munib. Thanks again for joining today's meeting. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer for last 3 years. My expertise, I'm also a certified Azure solution architect. My expertise are in Azure solutions, hybrid and migration strategies, and also my focus is on AI and Copilot. This is my LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me, please reach out. All right. So before we start the topic or before we start the main course, which is Azure Fundamental, the AZ900. So want to go and quickly explain why building a strong foundation is important. So as we all know, fundamentals are the basic principles. They're like the foundation of a building. So if you know the basics of cloud computing, like what the cloud is, how you pay for resources, and how security works, then you can make better decision when you start using Microsoft Azure. So these basics also helps you or help you to understand advanced features like big data, machine learning on Azure, and everything that builds on fundamental. What I mean by decision making, so when you have a good fundamentals, if you know the foundations, so these basic knowledge and terminologies will help you with your future career, or if you want to stay with cloud. So even if you already um, uh, uh, Microsoft working in this industry, or if you working as an IT manager or IT, so you always need to know the fundamentals, because these basic knowledge so help you to like it's a foundation on a building. For example, if you want to become a network engineer, so the network engineer always uh, need to know start with the fundamentals. If you start from intermediate level and you don't have that beginner or that fundamentals or that foundations, so you you get in trouble when you uh, get involved in projects that you need to make decision on which type of technologies you need to use. Same thing in cloud. So the fundamentals on and basic knowledge and terminologies and knowing how things work, it really helps you when you work on any small projects or enterprise projects in the future. So that's why we wanted to start with this session today to walk through or have a um, uh, session about fundamentals and this Azure Easy 900 exam. All right, so we all know that things start with on-premise legacy systems. So these on-premise legacy systems were traditional setup with physical servers in a company own data center. So this means that you had to buy hardware, find the space for it, and pay for cooling, electricity, and maintain it. So that's what we call on-premise. Like you have everything, all your data center in your um, office, and you have to pay for, upfront for your hardware and make sure everything is maintained, and you can use that resources if they're working properly. And then if you want to handle more users, so you have to buy more servers, which is expensive and take long time for operation process, and also you have to make sure that you upgrade or scale up or when needed. So by minimizing the downtime, that was all the challenges or all the things with the on-premise and legacy environment. And then we had virtualization technologies. So the virtualization technology is it's partial cloud. It means like you're able to make your own private cloud inside your organization or your office. And the best thing yeah, the main changes with virtualization was like with the legacy on-premise server, you had a server for each services. Let's say if you had a web server, you need a server for that. You need a separate hardware for that. If you need a DHCP server, so you need a separate hardware for your DHCP. Same thing if you need a file server, you need a separate hardware for that file server. But virtualization came in place, and you need a like single hardware. You can partition it to multiple virtual machines, and then you can install that specific server and then services on that server. So it gives you that ability to minimize with the cost and usage of hardware. And now with cloud computing, you can get more computing power whenever you need it, and you pay only for what you use. And what I mean with that, so you just it gives you that flexibility with pay-as-you-go option. When you need to scale up your environment, you just pay that extra prices when you need it. And if you want to scale down, so you save that money, you don't need to spend upfront on on your infrastructure or the resources you want to use. So that's what cloud computing came and changed the game for from on-premise legacy and virtualization. So Microsoft Azure fundamentals, this is what again what we are going to start today. So we may have multiple session for this course. This will not be the only session, but you will make sure to follow the um, community in the Microsoft Teams and check LinkedIn. So he may post about the next sessions for AZ900 when we are available to conduct the next sessions, because we're going to cover the first model today. We have remaining models for this course that we want to cover and get this completed for those who are interested to get the AZ900 certification. So who should take this exam? And so anyone new to Azure or cloud computing, this includes people in technical roles, like new IT professionals, and non-technical roles like sales, finance, if they want to have a good understanding about the cloud computing and how things work in Azure, different types of cloud, different models, and about cost, and like some basics about architectures and services. So this is a good start. So the main topics for this course, let me share the official Microsoft page for this exam so we can talk through. So this is a Microsoft certifications kind of chart for all different exams. So you see there is a fundamentals for each field. Like if you want to become a infrastructure architecture or infrastructure or hybrid engineer or hybrid environment or Microsoft Azure network engineer. So AZ900 is an Azure fundamental course for you here. Not only for infrastructure, even if you want to become a data and AI specialist. So you need to have a good understanding of Azure AZ900 course. Um, so this is the first exam you need to pass. There is no prerequisite for AZ900, but AZ900 is the fundamental course for all these exams as you see. Like any of these exams, you see, like if you want to become a Azure Administrator Associate Certified, so these basics and terminologies that you learn from Azure fundamentals, those are really help you to become an Azure Administrator Associates. And same thing with Microsoft Server Hybrid Administrator Associate exam or any security exam. So these are the basics knowledge that you need for all these exams. This is a Microsoft Azure Fundamentals official exam page in Microsoft. It's a beginner exam. Again, it's a fundamental. So the candidates, I did mention that anyone new, fresh, or experienced in IT or non-technical roles like sales or finance, they want to have a deep understanding about or a basic understanding about how things work in cloud. So that helped them to uh, uh, become in front of their clients for sales stuff. Okay, so the exam cost is different based on where you live. In US, it's 19.9 USD dollar. You can schedule your exam through Pearson or through Certiport. You can use either of these exam providers or test centers. You can attend this exam from home or anywhere you want. Just follow the policy, and or you can look at any test center close to your area, so you can go there and get the exam when you're ready. So there's a study guide for each exam Microsoft provide in their official website. This is a study guide for AZ900. So it explain the scale at a glance, like which areas this exam cover and what you should expect in the exam for this AZ900. So it has different models. So you see all the information about the exam here. So feel free to take a look and review this if you're interested to pass the exam. Also, if you want to start learning this, so the best place is to start with Microsoft Learning with Microsoft Learn. So you can start from here. It has like complete learning path for this exam, and you can start with the different languages. So this is the best place to learn more about this exam if you want to pass Easy 900. So going back to where we stopped. All right. So the main topics include in this exam, it's cloud concepts like shared responsibility and how things really work with cloud, and then uh, core Azure services like what's virtual machine, Azure storage, and databases, security, privacy, compliance, and trust, Azure pricing and support options, how to have an estimation when you want to build a virtual machine or multiple uh, uh, resources in Azure, how to have an estimation for that and how much it costs, how to. So these are like basic Azure pricing that included in this course, and you get different questions types for this exam, such as multiple questions, multiple choice questions, and drag and drop. Again, you can always use Microsoft Learn as a free online to learn more, and it has practice tests, so you can practice and become familiar with the questions before you attend the exam. All right, so again, let's just start with the first topic for this session, which is, for Easy 900, cloud concepts. So the first module is basic cloud concepts. It helps you to learn the correct word to describe like services like IaaS or infrastructure as a services, or software as a services, or platform as a services. And this is again, this vocabulary is important through your Azure journey, because you see all these vocabularies or all these words at any levels. So it also helps you to explain the benefits of different cloud concepts, and which one you need to choose when you make a decision. So it's a kind of like a bridge from the old or legacy systems to modern cloud solution in Azure. That's why we have this cloud concepts topic as a first model. So what's cloud computing? Cloud computing is in a short words, it means that you can access computing services like server, storage, database, networking, software over the internet. So it's you typically pay only for how much you use. That's why we have this pay-as-you-go model, and it helps you to so this model is helping you to save that upfront hardware purchases. You pay how much you use rather than making large upfront hardware purchases. It's elastic. It means you can quickly scale up and down based on demand. Let's say you have a server in Azure. So that server is your web server, and you get more traffic over time, and you need to scale up that server. You need to increase the CPU or add more CPU or memory to manage the performance and the traffic you have to that web server. So let me just check the. Okay, I will answer the questions in the chat. Just give me a second. So you can just add those. You can just scale up the existing IIS server or whatever you have inside cloud by just a few click. Or if you're using infrastructure as a code, that we will not discuss about that. There's some courses or sessions in the YouTube of this community, so you can just go ahead and watch about infrastructure as a code. That's how you scale up and down or manage your resources through code. So yeah, that's why we say it's elastic and scalable, and you have that with your legacy environment or on-prem, but it takes a lot of process to make that happen. I mean, if you want to scale up or scale down the resources and on-premise. Okay, so we have a question. It says that according to people who took exam, say that the MS practice exam are not the same as the one they took. Uh, so uh, to answer this question, the MS uh, practice exam it's kind of like a general questions and answer, just help you to get familiar with the concepts of uh, questions, because when you learn a course, when you read about the course or watch videos, it will not exactly help you with 100% of getting exam pass, because you need to kind of practice some questions to get familiar with the questions. So that's, I believe that's just based on my experience. That's the only kind of a general questions from all these contents inside AZ 900 or other exams. So you can just get familiar with different type of questions or what you learn during this course. But it's not 100% same as the one you see in the actual exam, but it helps you with the concept of questions, and you get an idea how the exam would look like, or you get familiar with the different types of questions. I hope that answer your question. So what's the learning room called in Teams? I will post it in the chat, but the learning room is Azure Cloud Commanders, and we will post it in the chat after this session. So just you can check there, and you also see all the updates in this learning room. All right. So we have a shared responsibility model with cloud computing. So what that means, it's a model that it means that the cloud providers secure the underlying of infrastructure like physical data center, network, and storage. So overall, the hardware. And the customer is responsible for data, users, access, and configuration. So we will uh, go deeper in this topic in next slides when we explain the different cloud models. All right. So next we have cloud models. We have different cloud models. We have public, we have private, we have hybrid cloud models. So in public cloud, multiple organization share large data centers resources, but each tenant resource and data are isolated. For example, uh, so Azure, AWS, Google, and Oracle, these are all public clouds that organizations share large data center resources that these cloud service providers, such as Azure, AWS, or Google, maintain that. So they can uh, access the resources and data uh, uh, in isolated format. So what is the advantage of public cloud and why companies are using public cloud? So you have lower cost, so no need to purchase hardware or software, and you pay only for the service you use. That's why, as I mentioned, like let's say if you just need a number of servers for 6 months or so on. So you don't need to purchase hardware for that number of servers. You just go ahead and set up that in Azure. So it saves you the hardware and operating system and softwares that you need inside that for just 6 months. You're always able to scale up. We already discussed about that. That's the best feature that come with public cloud. No maintenance. So the service provider provides the maintenance if there's any downtime, if there's any issue with the hardware or data center, so they take care of that. So you have, as I mentioned, near unlimited scalability. It means like on-demand resources are available to meet your business needs whenever you want to scale down or scale up. It's just a few clicks away from you. High reliability. So the infrastructure or the architecture of this public clouds, the cloud service providers such as Azure, AWS, they make sure that it's high available for you. So they take care of that, and you no need to concern about that. They have all the solutions to take care of the failovers or the downtimes, because they manage the uh, hardware and data centers and infrastructure with multiple regions. And we have private cloud. So private cloud is it's the difference between public cloud. Public cloud is a shared. So we mentioned that it's a shared large data center resources that different organizations can use that resources. But private cloud is owned or operated by a single company. For example, this can be on-premise or hosted by a provider, but it's exclusive to one organization. So it will not be accessible for multiple organizations. That's why we call it private cloud. So private cloud is also consists of cloud computing resources. The private cloud can be physically located at your organization, on-site data center, or it can be hosted by third-party service provider if you don't have physical location or if you don't want to deal with that. So you have this option to have it through a third party. So that's different between private and public cloud. And the advantage is you have more flexibility. So your organization can customize it based on a specific needs of your business needs. I mean, based on a specific need of your organization. What do I mean by that? There are some sort of compliance, or if you want to build your cloud in a specific region, or if you want to have a direct connection to your cloud environment and make it the security layers customized, which ties to your compliance and policy. You have that flexibility with private cloud, and then more control. Resources are not shared with others. I mean the hardware resources. So you have a high level of privacy and control. It doesn't mean we don't have these in public clouds, but you get more with private cloud in these terms. You have more scalability. So private clouds are often more scalable to compared to on-prem infrastructure. Because you have all the resources that you already designed, and you can always scale up and down because you have that resources in your private cloud environment. And we have hybrid cloud, as it's clear from the name. The hybrid cloud is environment that use both public and private clouds. So letting you keep some workloads in private environment while using a public cloud for others. So some companies, there's a lot of companies that still want to be in hybrid cloud. There are many factors. One of them are cost, or one of the other is they have some data that they want to keep it on their private cloud, and they don't want to go with public cloud for that type of data. So you have this hybrid cloud to kind of put both public and private cloud and build a hybrid environment. For example, if you work with a company and they have a file server and then they have a domain controller, so they want to move their domain controller in Azure and they want to keep their file server in on-prem. It can be different reason to do this because they have warranty for their file server hardware resources. It's still valid, and their file server, it's kind of, let's say it has a huge amount of storage, so they still want to keep their file server and their on private cloud environment, and just want to move the domain controller for any reason. Either the hardware is running out of warranty, or they want to have their domain controller in Azure, or there's some environment that they, let's say if they have 100 servers, they just want to move a number of kind of non-sensitive servers that it doesn't contain any information, that they can move it to public cloud, and they keep the rest in their private cloud environment, but they have this communication between their public cloud and private cloud. They have all the controls over that, so they can manage the security and compliance. So that's what we call hybrid cloud. And again, you have control. Your organization can maintain a private infrastructure for sensitive assets or workloads that require low latency. Or also its cost effectiveness. That's the other reason, because with the ability to scale to the public cloud, like whenever you want to add more resources to public cloud, you have that option and you are able to do that. So we have the costing, we have capital vs operational cost, operational costing, and we have two methods for that. We have capex and opex. So capex means that buying server, storage, network devices, and paying for them upfront. You own these assets over time. But OPEX, or operational expenditure, is mean that renting or paying for what you use only. That's why we have that pay-as-you-go option in public cloud. So moving to the cloud, it often lower the large upfront investment, so making it easier for business to manage budget and scale. So with cloud, which is the OPEX or operational and expenditure method, so cloud typically shifts the spending from capex to opex. What it means that there's no upfront costs, so you are not paying for resources that you are not using, and no need to purchase and manage costly infrastructure that may or may not be used to its full extent. It's again what you use. So the ability to pay for additional resources when they're needed. I mean, if you have a container, or if you just want to do an automation with Azure function, or if you need to add a networking resource in your environment, it always gave you this ability. And you can always stop paying for resources that no longer needed. So that's the uh, OpEx uh, costing, or the method we have in cloud. But CapEx was the capital expenditure, so it's more the upfront spending on physical hardware and infrastructure. For example, the on-premise uh, data centers or infrastructures. So benefits of cloud, again, we had a quick review on this. It is scalable, so grow or shrink resources as needed. You can always scale up and scale down your environment. It has high availability and disaster recovery. So let me share something here. So if you go to Microsoft official website, it gives you always information about number of office regions in Microsoft, and you can always check the different services or products availability in different regions. So that's why we say, like, if you have high availability through public cloud, so you can always check, and it always change. So Microsoft increased their regions because of the high availability. Like for virtual machines, it shows all the available regions by now. So you can check all the available regions, and you can check by geography and locations. So that's why you get this by default high availability and disaster recovery with cloud. Cost efficiency, again, you just pay for the actual usage. Global reach, deploy services close to customers. For example, if you have different locations, one in US and one in Europe, so no need to put everything in US, and you have that high latency issue. You can build and deploy the services and resources close to the customer or where you need. All right. So then we have cloud service types. So the cloud service types is you see all these in uh, every day, like when you want to design a solution, or if you want to do an initial gathering for a client or company. So it always come to a, these cloud service types. Like if this client or this company you work with, they need a SaaS as a software as a service as a service, or if they need a platform as a service to address what they are looking for, or if they need infrastructure as a service. So let me, okay. So in here, it's a good explanation of these different cloud service type. You see in this chart, this is from Microsoft official website. So we have on-prem. For on-prem, you are responsible for everything. You are responsible for physical hardware, for operating system, applications, data, and so you have to make sure to maintain all these layers. So I mean, there is no shared responsibility for your on-prem. You make sure that the data center physically working properly, everything is available to keep that hardware's up and running, and also when it comes to security, operating system, applications, and data. So there is no shared responsibility. You have all the responsibility for on-prem. Then we have infrastructure as a service. For infrastructure as a service, you are responsible for operating system, applications, and data. So the cloud provider manage the physical server and virtualizations. For example, if you want to create a virtual machine, if you want to build a new server in Azure, so you're not responsible for physical server and virtualization. You're just responsible for the operating system and the applications and data that you want to have inside that virtual machine. That's what we call infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service is the provider or the uh, cloud provider manage the operating system, runtime, and more, like leaving you to focus just on the application code itself. For example, Microsoft Azure App Services, like Azure Logic App, Azure Function, and some other Azure Cloud Services. They call uh, platform as a service. So you are not responsible for the operating system, runtime, or the hardware or physical servers or virtualization. You just focus on running your application to this platform as a service uh, type. Then we have software as a service. So the software as a service is you just simply use the application hosted by a provider. So you only configure settings and data. For example, the Microsoft 365, we all use it. So we are not responsible for any hardware or physical resource. We are not responsible for the operating system or the applications, or we are just focusing on configuration and the data and the settings that we want to use. So these are all the cloud service types. And if you want to get more understanding or get more in detail about these different cloud service types, because these are kind of like more theory. So you can just search in Google SaaS examples. You see a list of uh, examples, so you can get more understanding. And then if you want to check same thing for PaaS or platform as an infrastructure or infrastructure as a service, platform as a service or infrastructure as a service, sorry. So you see all the examples that give you a good detailed understanding on how different, like for example, the only reason Microsoft focus in this exam in this cloud service type, because again, like you're not using infrastructure as a service for everything. Uh, you're not using platform as a service for everything. You're not using SaaS. So different requirements. It requires different solutions, and you're making a decision which type of service we need to use for this uh, uh, solution, for this solution that we want to design for our client. So just quickly before we wrap up the thing, just let me check if I can. All right. So I just signed into my Azure account. So this is the Azure environment, and we discussed about different cloud types, different cloud service types. So you have over 200 services in Azure, and you see all the services here. We have AI and machine learning, we have analytics, we have compute, we have containers, databases. So all these different services inside Azure come as a different cloud service types. Like if we click into compute, we just see it list as a infrastructure as a service. So these are all infrastructure as a service category in Azure. Then we have platform as a service. We have app services. We have Azure VMware solution, and we have serverless and microservices that you can use. So these are all list of services that we have in Azure, and for each section or for each categories, you can see all these different services that we have. So that's what we discussed about the different service types. All right, that's it. So let me just check the questions in the chat, and then go. So Microsoft. Okay, so there's a question about Azure uh, test environment. So you can uh, sign up for Azure test. Just let me open this. So you can always create a free account with Azure. It gave you 200 credit. So you can create a new account, and it will not charge you anything until unless if you use the resources beyond that 200 credit, and you can always cancel. This is all the resources and services that you are able to use through this Azure free account, and always recommend to students and those who want to get the exams done or want to practice, which is very important. So you always go with this Azure free account, and make sure to when you create resources, do not leave it there. When you're done, you can shut down or delete the resource, but just to save your credit for a long time, so you can always have this uh, opportunity to practice. Can I be part of the testnet or? Okay, again, so you can create a test account using Azure free account. It does require a credit card, a payment method. You have to provide that, but it will not charge anything. Just you need to provide your address, phone number, and all the details that it asks. There's some required fields that you have to fill that. Make sure you provide that information, and you should be able to access Azure free account for your practice. So can you share some resources to practice for the exam? To practice for exam, we usually use Microsoft practice questions. There's one other website. I haven't used it for a while. It's kind of like all the questions, and there's a discussion for all these questions. I will make sure to find that and post it in the chat when it's available. So I will share that if I find it. But I personally always use Microsoft official practice exams for my exams. Okay, so the next question is SaaS the combination of infrastructure as a service and platform as a service? No, SaaS is not simply a combination of infrastructure as a service or software as a platform as a service. So you can think of SaaS being built on top of underlying infrastructure and platform layer. So that's how it works. Uh, do you use individual training? I have a so there's a question: do you use pay-go subscription to individual? Um, so I use the MCT subscriptions that I get, but there's always free account in Azure. You get 200 credits, so you can practice using this. So I will post in the chat about the website that I'm using for practice questions. I think it's, yeah, something like exam topics, and there's some more websites, but just something free, and the people have discussion about different questions, so that way you get a good understanding about different questions, like why this answer is correct or why this is not correct. All right, I think uh, we are just about to wrap up this session. Thanks again for joining. I hope you all had a great time with me today, and looking forward to have more sessions with about Azure AZ 900. So if we can cover all the remaining models, and yep, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know if you have any questions. I will be available. Thank you.